up out there, everybody?
This is SEL0320.
Sure, Johnson 030 here, represent JVS.
Yeah. So we're back for another review. 2 episodes of the season 2 of Daredevil. This is episode 9.
7 minutes in heaven.
And episode 10, The Man in the Box. So we're going to go ahead and start off with episode 9, and then we'll progress into episode 10. The thing is, once we get to 10, if you haven't seen 9, take this, put it in your watch later, and we'll be right back. Alright, so episode 9, 7 Minutes in Heaven, there's a lot of things that kind of get resolved in a lot of different ways between, like, I was about to say, well, yeah, main one is Frank Castle and the Kingpin. For last episode, we know that Kingpin is back. He's in jail. He's the one that provoked Frank into doing what he did. And you get to figure out what is his end game. What does he have to do with Frank Castle? And I have to say, like, the things and the ways that they have been handling Frank Castle, the Punisher, in this series is by far one of the best characters I've seen in a long time. He's got so many different dimensions. He's so deadly, and he's crazy. There's an action sequence towards the end that you really don't see coming, and there's no real resolve you can see in the foreshadowing later on. It's just insane. Like, I mean, to have Wilson Fisk back and then have him interacting with Frank Castle is amazing. But even more than that, there's a lot of stuff going on with Daredevil and the way that he's interacting with his family and the way he's interacting with Foggy, the way he interacts with Karen, even Elektra. There's a lot of cutting of ties in this episode. And it's like people are going to have to regroup how they're going to change the dynamics of the rest of the show moving forward. But what was some of the stuff you liked about episode 9?
Well, I mean, one thing that I really enjoyed about this episode was Kingpin's interaction with the Punisher. The reason why I say that is because this episode, you never see Fisk just the way he talks, just like uncollected, or to where he's just off the hinges insane. This episode, he's just himself. And he is talking to the Punisher, and his dude just sounds insane, right? He's just off the hinges like nuts. You always knew he was like that, but you know, there was always a part of him that like held himself back. You know what I'm saying? But this episode, he just lets everything go, bro. He's just like.
Are you talking about Fisk or are you talking about
I'm talking
Frank?
about Fisk.
Oh, I was about to say, because Frank did the same thing. Like, you really get to see, you know, how deadly he really can be.
Yeah. I mean,
it's crazy, man.
But yeah, dude. I think from this series, from the first season to second season, they have topped the entire. Like they made all the characters better.
Yeah.
Like all the characters from the previous season, that are shown in this one, they make all of them better. Like I enjoy watching Wilson Fisk better in this season than I did like the first one. And same with Matt. And I mean that's evident throughout this second season.
Yeah, I mean there's things that happen in this one that revolve around the hand and bigger players at work. And the thing about each episode, it surprises me. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the things I loved about the first season is that after each episode, it started right back from there, and it went off the cliffhanger and hit you right in the gut. And this one extends that. There's a lot of things that are kind of put to the forefront in this one. I really like this episode without going into too many spoilers, but it's definitely a huge surprise towards the end.
Oh, yeah.
We're about to go ahead and talk about episode 10, but before we go that, what would we give this episode rating?
I give it a 10.
I give it a 9.5. I think that there's one thing that I wanted, you know, it was towards the end, but I give it a 9.5 out of 10. I actually really enjoyed 7 Minutes in Heaven. I thought it was awesome. You give it a 10?
I give it a 10.
10 out of 10. So, alright, we're about to start talking about the next one, which is episode 10, The Man in the Box. But yeah, going into episode 10, which is The Man in the Box, that was actually a really good episode as well. There was a lot that kind of went down that was really unexpected at every turn. I mean, even like what was going on with Foggy, Matt, and Karen as far as the case, after the fact of what happened in the last episode where freaking Kingpin lets Punisher out. You know what I'm saying? That sets off this huge chain reaction of events that I didn't really expect. It had a really awesome dialogue sequence that happened at the district attorney's location that's crazy. But even towards most of it, like, it was some really great dialogue, really great performances, and generally action throughout most of this episode. It was just like, it was really fluid how the way they actually did it. What was one of the things you liked about this episode?
Oh, dude, episode 10 is probably one of the craziest episodes this season. I mean, because everything goes down. It all hits a fan.
Yeah.
Everything hits the fan by pretty much all the characters have something going on with them, such as Elektra, Punisher, and Matt.
Yeah.
All those fronts, you know, are being attacked by, you know, kind of 3 different sources at the same time. But, and, you know, and then you see Kingpin, you know, you wonder how much is his involvement and control over this situation.
Yeah. Because, like, with the whole opposition of the hand, even with Stick's operation, it's like, how does he have involvement in play in all this? Because even in the last episode, he was talking with his attorney and dealing with all different things that happened. Matter of fact, one of the most craziest things that happened in this episode, that is a small spoiler, is that there's an interaction between Matt and Kingpin that probably sets the bar and the tone, if there will be a 3rd season, that, oh my gosh, what is really going to go down? But even with Frank, like, there are things that Frank is doing that are coming into play with this one that is really uncharacteristic of his character. And it's like, it adds so much more terror, because it's like, you kind of have this idea, perception of what Frank's, you know, him as a person. And then for him to do these things in this episode, it's like, it's so uncharacteristic. So I'm really curious what's going on behind the scenes of that. We'll find out, I guess, in the next episode, .380. But we got a lot going on. Matter of fact, it's my birthday today. So I don't know if we're going to do any more episode reviews tonight, but we'll definitely try to do as much as we can. About to go to head to church. Y'all keep it locked. And what would we give this episode review for? What number would you give it?
I give it a 10.
You got any final thoughts about it? Or anticipation for the next one?
Yeah, I have a lot of anticipation for the next episode. Yeah, it's gonna go down.
Yeah. I give it a 10 too. I thought it was a really solid episode, because it pays homage to a lot of different things, even with Kieran and interacting with the guy that works at the newspaper, and even with, like, Matt and his perspective of where his character is going next. It's like, is it worth it to try to maintain your humanity while trying to save people? You know, I think every superhero has to go through that. It's like, do I cut ties, or do I just focus on the mission? You know, and even Claire comes this episode, she gives some really deep advice, and I really liked it. I thought it was a really great episode, really impactful. Keep it locked. JVS, we ain't gonna stop. Talk to y'all later. Peace.